Does the impact of someone failing to deliver their promise excuse you from enacting a heinous act? Some may argue that it depends on the severity of the promise. Some may say that your actions are always a responsibility that the actor is accountable for. I say, the blame is shared with both participants, but it doesn't excuse the act. Phrolova and Rover share a unique bond. That bond is completely one-sided from both perspectives. Rover knows Phrolova as a terrorist, a woman who will summon tacit discords to cause pandemonium and chaos to those around her. Not just once, but twice, again in Renacida as she pursued Rover. That doesn't even account for the hundreds of years that she's been a part of the Fractsidus, the many deeds and things that she did during that time, the people she killed, the experiments that she participated in. Nonetheless, her pursuit of Rover is odd, and that's because she, of course, also has another version of Rover in her mind. The man that listened to her requiem and didn't clap. Instead, he understood the meaning behind her music. You don't clap to mourn a tragedy. He listened to her thoughts, proposed a solution, and made a promise. A promise to listen to her piece when it was finally complete. Some may say that Phrolova didn't finish her piece, but that's actually far from accurate in my opinion. Her goal was to create an act, a performance that fully vitalized the people that she cherished. The proof is right here. She performed at many places, and Rover, he didn't show up. He will never show up. This conversation, this interaction was a treasured moment for Phrolova. Tris may have been the cornerstone for her sororosphere, but this moment was a cornerstone to Frolova's grasp of the world. It's something she held very dear to her heart. Someone recognized her sorrow, shared in her tragedy, and offered a new perspective on a way to fix her broken world. Even the version of Tris in The Lost Beyond, or rather, the Grand Architect, wondered if the conversation that they shared was more important than all of them. More important than her goal that she had dedicated all of her life to. This abandonment, this broken promise, this charade that Rover put forth, that is the driving point and motivation that Phrolova put forth to enact her plan. She started off small in her search of immortality, praying to the divine, researching the wave-worn phenomenon. She became a scientist to study methods to bring back her lost village and the citizens of the Lost Beyond. It's only after she realized that Rover would never show themselves again that she would continue down a darker path. This perfectly explained her obsession with Rover when he finally woke up, and why she'd been the main villain ever since Rover first regained consciousness in this world. Phrolova had been the main antagonist since the very beginning of Wuthering Waves. While we initially met Scar, the one behind all of the actions was truly Phrolova. Scar was merely the distraction. This obsession, it stems from the fact that this person, who she'd been waiting for so long, had just reset themselves and completely forgotten about Phrolova, completely forgotten about their promise. Phrolova vowed to create the Lost Beyond using the gem housing the Thenardian's power, and she would use that power to not only trap herself, but Rover as well. That's how deep her resentment towards Rover grew. We don't know why Rover reset himself, if he was forced to or if he did it willingly, but we do know that Rover failed to stop the wave-worn phenomenon once, and was willing to reset himself to perhaps experience a new perspective to solve the reason that the world was ending. We also know that this is potentially not the first time that Rover has reset himself. When he spoke to Phrolova, he said that he reset himself, but he didn't remember this conversation. That's kind of odd, don't you think? Either way, Phrolova cannot stand the fact that someone would so easily throw away all of their bonds, relationships, and promises so easily. While she held onto her people for so long, so long, she heard their pleas, their wishes, their desires, and she wanted to save them. But just what is she saving? Is she saving Tris and all the people in the village? Or is she saving the dying reverberations that wish to live on? Phrolova's town was the effects of either the wave-worn phenomenon or a random meteor strike, but either way, every person here was annihilated. Everyone but Phrolova. The effects of the meteor are seen on Phrolova as well, as this activated her Forte. I believe that Phrolova died here, or at least a very distinct part of her was lost. There is no other instance of a resonator who has the ability to bring back the reverberations of the dead and turn them into tacit discords. Tacit discords are creatures who attack without restraint, but Phrolova can easily command them with her abilities. It's confirmed that even her body is half human, half tacit discord, which may also attribute to her much longer lifespan. A tacit discord is quite literally the dead desires and wishes of those in the wave-worn disaster. I want to ask you, if you died in a meteorite crash, what do you think you'd wish for in those moments? I want to live on. I don't want to die here. I want to share one last moment with my mother. I want to spend more time with my friends. Those reverberations played on repeat in Phrolova's head. On repeat. They warped her psyche and turned her into the villain that we see today. They willed her along this plan, begging to be brought back to life, begging to go with Phrolova. Imagine that after losing everything, everything that you loved, everything that you cherished, and everything there begged for you to save them, to finally bring them back. It's no surprise that this is the route that Phrolova took. Another concept that I wanted to touch on is the impact of this promise. The exact voice acting that happened for this promise actually happened an hour before we even have the dialogue choice. They have the voice ready, but instead of letting Rover actually speak out that sequence when he's conversing with Phrolova, they have the player voluntarily press the button to lie to Phrolova. You, the player, made the promise to Phrolova, and you, the player, broke that promise. Kuro Games has used a single option dialogue box correctly, and it's a subtle beauty. Once I had a dream that we were dear to each other. I woke to find that we were strangers. This is how you implement black screen with white text to your gacha games. An impactful final note to Rover from Phrolova. She thought of her and Rover as having a special bond, treasured it for years, only to find out at the end that you're nothing but a stranger to me. Phrolova may appear to be calm and controlled, but truthfully, she's a broken mess. To lose everything in such a tragic way, she would do anything to see them alive again, even if she had to construct that world. She doesn't just see ghosts, she carries them. She doesn't just remember, she reconstructs. That's not insanity. That's devotion so deep that it tore through reality, and that's a reality that she will craft. We know that the citizens of her village are dead. They are nothing but tacit discords with reverberations wishing to live on, wanting life and wanting to live on with Phrolova. As Phrolova journeyed through her sororosphere, more and more of her memories distorted into the people that she loved, becoming exact replicas of everyone that she remembered. Rover called this a hell, a delusion, nothing but fake reality that must be left behind, but Phrolova saw this as her paradise, a key to the past, a way for her family to live on, forever. While she failed to trap Rover in this delusion, she got exactly what she wanted in the end. She arrived home, and she found peace. Kuro Games seriously impressed me with the direction of this story. They rose the stakes and they delivered an impactful 3-hour story that was full of emotion and dynamic character balance between Rover and Phrolova, and impeccable cutscenes. I'm not even talking about the high quality ones with the special effects and all that. Just the simple stuff like, look at this. As Phrolova and Rover circle around the gem, they're walking, the angle, the poses, it's seriously amazing camera work here, and the director knew exactly what they were doing. The subtleties such as the player being forced to click and make that promise, the use of black screens with white text, you were so involved in the story that you actually read the reports that Phrolova has left behind, instead of skipping those important parts. And those parts, they're what complete the story. At the final end, when we see Phrolova fused with the shard of the lost beyond, we see that her notes, her reports, has changed. She knows that he will never appear again, and she is fine with that. She found her own path, and while some may consider this a hell, it is her paradise. She was able to grant a rebirth to all of her friends and her family in the Lost Beyond by merging their consciousness with the tacit discord and created a new vessel to hold the two together. Whether they're fake, whether they're real, it doesn't matter to Phrolova, because this is the reality that she believes in. A perfect end to a tragic villain. Perhaps Rover could have saved Phrolova from what he called a hell. Had he been able to fulfill Phrolova's promise and actually show her another way, a way to leave her past behind, then things could have been different. In my previous video, Naxia Koyuko had a very interesting point. They pointed out Rover's literal catchphrase, "I will be there for everyone," as we head towards our shared future, leaving the past behind. And while it's true that I would not have liked that ending for Phrolova, it still kinda stings to know that Phrolova will go out like this. But that's what makes this story so special. The end of Phrolova is tragic, but I feel it's deserved. What do you think about Phrolova's story? Do you see her as a villain or a victim of a broken world? Let me know down in the comments, because I definitely do read all of the comments. Thank you guys for your support in the last video. I didn't expect it to actually do that well. I'll definitely be continuing to make this a regular series on the channel, so definitely stay tuned for that, and subscribe and like the video. Until next time, Enigma out.